Taurus. 12 lessons of patience that turn into rewards. You have waited longer than most people would have. You have held your ground when others would have moved on. You have stayed the course when everything inside you was screaming for something to happen, anything just to break the silence of waiting. And if you are honest with yourself, there were moments when you wondered if the patience was worth it. Moments when the waiting felt less like wisdom and more like punishment. Moments when you looked around and watched the world rush past you and asked yourself, am I being patient or am I being left behind? You were not being left behind, Taurus. You were being prepared. Every season of waiting was building something inside you that could not have been built any other way. Every test of your patience was strengthening a muscle that the universe knew you would need for what is coming next. And what is coming next is the reward. Not the kind that falls from the sky. The kind that grows from the ground you have been tending all along, slowly, faithfully, with the stubborn devotion that only a Taurus can sustain. These 12 lessons are the proof. They are the evidence that your patience was never wasted. That every moment of waiting carried within it a gift that is only now becoming visible. So sit with these words, Taurus. Let them remind you of who you are and what you have earned through the simple, radical, extraordinary act of refusing to give up. Lesson 1. The first lesson of patience that turns into a reward is this. The things you waited for without forcing arrived more perfectly than anything you could have planned. Look back at your life, Taurus. Look at the moments that changed everything. The relationship that began not because you chased it, but because you were simply being yourself in the right place at the right time. The opportunity that appeared not because you demanded it, but because you had quietly prepared yourself so thoroughly that when the door opened, you were ready to walk through it without hesitation. The answer to a question that had tortured you for years, arriving not in a moment of desperate searching, but in a moment of quiet surrender, when you finally stopped looking and let the answer find you. This is the reward of patience in its purest form. It is the universe responding to your trust with precision, delivering exactly what you needed at exactly the moment you were ready to receive it. Not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. And the lesson embedded in this reward is one that will serve you for the rest of your life. The best things cannot be rushed. They can only be received. And your willingness to wait, to trust, to remain open without demanding. That is the quality that makes you a magnet for the kind of blessings that most people never experience because they are too busy chasing to receive. Lesson 2. The second lesson is that patience taught you the difference between what you want and what you need. In your younger years, your desires were loud. They were urgent. They felt like emergencies, like things you had to have right now or something terrible would happen. And patience, that slow, relentless teacher, showed you something crucial. Many of the things you desperately wanted were not things you actually needed. And many of the things you truly needed were arriving so quietly that you almost missed them in the noise of your wanting. This lesson took years to learn. It took watching some of your most desperate desires come true and feeling nothing. Or worse, feeling the hollow realization that this was not it. That the thing you spent months or years chasing did not fill the space you thought it would. And it took watching other things arrive uninvited, things you never asked for, things you never knew you needed, and feeling your entire world shift with the weight of their importance. Your patience refined your desires. It burned away the superficial ones and left behind only the essential ones. And now, standing where you stand today, you have a clarity about what truly matters that most people spend their entire lives searching for. You know what feeds your soul and what merely entertains your ego. You know the difference between comfort and contentment. You know that the most valuable things in life are not the ones that arrive fastest. They are the ones that arrive at the exact right moment, carrying exactly what your heart needs to take its next breath. Lesson 3. The third lesson is that patience made your relationships deeper than you ever imagined possible. Fast relationships are exciting. They burn bright. They fill the room with heat and light and energy. But they also burn out. They consume their fuel quickly and leave behind ashes that cool faster than anyone expected. Your relationships, the ones that were built slowly, patiently, with the kind of care that only a Taurus knows how to give. Those relationships did something different. They did not burn. They grew. Like trees, putting down roots first, invisible beneath the surface, before a single leaf appeared above ground. And because those roots went deep, because you invested the time and the patience to build foundations that could withstand any storm, the connections you have today are extraordinary. They are not based on excitement or novelty or the thrill of something new. They are based on knowing, on being known, on the kind of trust that can only be built through years of showing up, day after day, in the mundane moments that no one else sees. And the reward of this patience is a quality of love that most people never experience. A love that is not shaken by conflict because it has survived so many conflicts before. A love that is not threatened by change because it has evolved through so many changes already. A love that does not need to perform or prove or compete because it knows with absolute certainty that it is real. That is what patience gave you, Taurus. Not just relationships, but a depth of connection that is rare, precious, and worth every single moment you invested in building it. Lesson 4. The fourth lesson of patience is that it taught you to trust yourself in ways that nothing else could have. Every time you waited when the world told you to act, you were making a choice. A choice to trust your own instincts over the noise of external pressure. A choice to believe that your timing was valid even when no one else could see the logic of it. A choice to honor your own rhythm in a world that constantly demands a faster beat. And each of those choices, each small act of self-trust, built something inside you that is now unshakable. A confidence that is not based on what you have accomplished, but on who you have proven yourself to be. The person who stayed true when it was hard. The person who trusted when there was no evidence to support the trust. The person who held steady when the entire world was in motion around them. That person is you. And the confidence that has grown from decades of trusting yourself through seasons of waiting. That is a reward no one can take from you. No external circumstance can diminish it. No failure can erase it. No criticism can reach it. Because it was not built on the opinions of others. It was built on the quiet, private, sacred relationship between you and your own knowing. And that relationship strengthened by every patient moment, every period of waiting, every test of faith you endured. That is the most valuable thing you possess. Lesson 5. The fifth lesson is that patience showed you the beauty of the process, not just the destination. There was a time when you lived for the finish line. When the only thing that mattered was getting to where you were going, achieving the goal, completing the task, arriving at the place where you could finally say, "I made it." And in that mindset, every moment that was not the destination was an obstacle. Every step that was not the final step was just something to get through. But patience changed that. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, patience taught you to find beauty in the walking itself. In the becoming. In the space between where you started and where you are headed. And that shift in perspective is one of the most profound transformations a human being can experience. Because when you learn to love the process, you stop being in a hurry. You stop treating your days as means to an end and start experiencing them as ends in themselves. Each morning becomes its own gift, not because it brings you closer to some future goal, but because it is alive, it is real, it is filled with sensations and emotions and possibilities that will never exist again in exactly this way. This is the reward that patience has been building inside you, Taurus. The ability to be fully present in your own life, not just as a visitor passing through on the way to somewhere else, but as a resident, a full-time inhabitant of the here and now. And that presence is worth more than any destination could ever be. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Lesson 6. The sixth lesson of patience is that it revealed who truly belongs in your life, and who is only passing through. Not everyone can wait with you, Taurus. Not everyone has the endurance to stand beside someone who moves at the speed of seasons rather than the speed of urgency. And over the years, your patience has served as a natural filter, gently separating the people who are here for the long haul from the ones who are here for the moment. The ones who stayed, the ones who matched your rhythm, who understood your silences, who did not try to rush you or change you or pressure you into being something you are not. Those are your people. They are rare. They are precious. And they are the reward for every moment you spent being exactly who you are, without apology, without compromise, without bending yourself into shapes that fit someone else's timeline. And the ones who left, they were not wrong. They were not bad. They simply were not yours. Their departure was not a rejection. It was a clarification. A gift that patience gave you by creating the space for the universe to sort what belongs from what does not. And now, looking at the people who surround you, the ones who have proven their presence through years of quiet, consistent, unwavering devotion. You know that what you have is real, not because they had to stay, but because they chose to, again and again and again. And that choice, freely made, is the only foundation on which lasting love can be built. Lesson 7. The seventh lesson is that patience taught you the extraordinary power of compound growth. You understand this instinctively, Taurus, because you have seen it play out in your own life more times than you can count. The small investments of time, energy, love, and effort that you made years ago, the ones that seemed insignificant at the time, have grown into something magnificent. The skill you practice for 10 minutes a day for 20 years is now a mastery that others marvel at. The relationship you nurtured through 1,000 small gestures of kindness is now a bond so strong, it could hold the weight of anything. The garden you planted one seed at a time is now a forest. This is the magic of patience combined with consistency, and it is one of the defining gifts of your sign. Because most people understand compound growth as a concept, but very few have the patience to actually let it work. They plant a seed, and when it does not bloom in a week, they dig it up and try something else. They start a practice, and when results do not appear immediately, they abandon it for the next promising technique. But you just keep going, day after day, year after year, with the same steady, unshakable commitment that is woven into your very nature. And the results of that commitment, the compound rewards of decades of patient, consistent effort, they are staggering. Not because any single day of effort was extraordinary, but because the accumulation of thousands of ordinary days, each one building on the last, has created something that extraordinary effort alone could never produce. Lesson 8. The eighth lesson of patience is that it gave you the gift of discernment. You can see through things that fool other people. You can sense the quality of a person, a situation, an opportunity within moments of encountering it. Not because you are more intelligent than others, but because patience has given you something that speed never could: the ability to observe before reacting. While others are jumping at the first thing that sparkles, you are watching, studying, sensing, letting your body tell you what your eyes cannot see. And that discernment, built through years of patient observation, has saved you from more mistakes than you will ever know. It has steered you away from people who would have drained you, from opportunities that would have trapped you, from decisions that looked wise on the surface but carried hidden costs beneath. And it has guided you toward things that the rest of the world overlooked, things that did not sparkle or shout or demand attention, but carried within them a quiet, steady value that only someone with your patience could perceive. This discernment is one of your greatest rewards, Taurus. It is the eye that sees through illusion to truth, the instinct that knows the difference between gold and glitter, the wisdom that understands that the most valuable things in life are rarely the loudest. And that wisdom, earned through decades of patient observation, is something you can rely on completely as you navigate whatever comes next. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Lesson 9. The ninth lesson is that patience transformed your suffering into wisdom. Every difficult season you endured, every loss you sat with, every disappointment you carried without breaking, none of it was wasted. Patience did something remarkable with your pain. It did not erase it. It did not minimize it. It alchemized it. Slowly, gently, over the course of years, the pain was converted into understanding. The grief was converted into compassion. The frustration was converted into acceptance. And the person who emerged from those long seasons of patient enduring was not the person who entered them. They were someone wiser, someone deeper, someone whose heart had been broken open, not broken apart, and whose capacity for love had expanded precisely because of, not despite, the suffering they had experienced. This is the reward that only patience can give you. Immediate relief feels good in the moment but teaches you nothing. Quick fixes solve the surface problem but leave the root untouched. But patient endurance, the kind that sits with the pain long enough to understand its message, long enough to extract its wisdom, long enough to let it reshape you into someone who is better prepared for the next challenge. That kind of patience turns every wound into a teacher and every scar into a badge of honor. And you are covered in those badges, Taurus. Each one earned through the quiet, unglamorous, deeply courageous act of staying present with your pain until it had nothing left to teach you. Lesson 10. The 10th lesson of patience is that it revealed the power of silence. In a world that rewards noise, that celebrates the loud, that equates speech with strength and silence with weakness, your patience taught you the opposite. It showed you that silence is one of the most powerful tools in existence. Not the silence of avoidance. Not the silence of fear. The silence of someone who knows that not every moment requires a response. Not every opinion requires a reaction. Not every provocation requires a counterattack. The silence of someone who is so secure in who they are that they do not need to prove it to anyone. This lesson took time. It took watching situations resolve themselves without your intervention. It took witnessing conflicts de-escalate simply because you chose not to add fuel to the fire. It took learning that the most powerful thing you can say in many situations is absolutely nothing. And the reward of this lesson is a kind of authority that cannot be manufactured. It is the authority of someone who speaks rarely but says everything, whose silence carries more weight than most people's speeches, whose mere presence in a room changes the temperature because everyone can feel the depth, the groundedness, the unshakable calm that radiates from someone who has mastered the art of patient silence. That is your gift, Taurus. It is your reward. And it is something the world needs now more than ever. Lesson 11. The 11th lesson is that patience taught you to celebrate small victories with the same gratitude you give to large ones. In the early years, you were focused on the big wins, the major milestones, the accomplishments that the world could see and applaud. But patience, that slow and gentle teacher, showed you that the fabric of a well-lived life is woven not from spectacular moments but from millions of small ones. The morning you woke up and chose peace over worry. The conversation where you spoke your truth instead of swallowing it. The evening you sat in your garden and truly felt the beauty of being alive. These are not small moments, Taurus. They are the moments that life is actually made of. And your ability to recognize them, to honor them, to feel genuine gratitude for the quiet, everyday miracles that most people rush past without noticing. That is a reward that transforms the very texture of your existence. Because when you learn to celebrate the small, you are never without cause for celebration. When you learn to find joy in the ordinary, you are never without joy. When you learn that every breath, every heartbeat, every sunrise is a victory over the alternative, then every single day of your life becomes a triumph. And that perspective, that deep, patient, hard-won perspective, is something that no amount of money, no achievement, no external recognition could ever provide. It is the ultimate reward of patience. The ability to see that your life right now, exactly as it is extraordinary. Lesson 12. The 12th and final lesson of patience is the one that crowns all the others. Patience taught you that you are enough, exactly as you are, without needing to add anything, prove anything, or become anything other than what you already are. This is the deepest lesson, the one that takes the longest to learn, the one that can only be understood by someone who has lived long enough and waited long enough, and endured enough seasons of doubt to finally arrive at the place where the truth becomes undeniable. You are enough. Not when you achieve the next goal. Not when you fix the last flaw. Not when you become the person you always thought you were supposed to be. Now, here, in this breath, in this body, with this history, with these scars and these gifts and these imperfections that make you so beautifully, irreplaceably human, you are enough. And the reward of this lesson is freedom. The freedom to stop performing, the freedom to stop proving, the freedom to stop measuring yourself against standards that were never designed for someone with your depth, your complexity, your quiet magnificence. When you truly absorb this lesson, when it moves from your mind into your bones, something extraordinary happens. The anxiety that has been your constant companion begins to release its grip. The self-doubt that has been whispering in the background of your life goes quiet, and in its place a calm settles over you. The kind of calm that comes not from having everything figured out, but from knowing that you do not need to have everything figured out, that you can trust yourself, that you can trust the timing of your life, that every moment of patience has been building towards something more beautiful than you could have imagined. And it has, Taurus. Every moment of patience has been building toward this. Toward you standing here more whole, more wise, more deeply rooted in your own truth than you have ever been. The lessons are complete. The rewards are arriving, and the patience that you thought was just a quality you possessed, turns out it was the greatest gift the universe ever gave you, because it made you who you are. And who you are is remarkable, not in spite of the waiting. Because of it, you have two options after this video. close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.